All of the body gets stretched today, I promise. And I did want to pose a little challenge per se to you. When we're moving through today, let's try to move as smoothly as we can, with the expectation that the more smoothly, slowly, and mindfully we move from one shape to the next, the more energy we can conserve. So always feeling replenished after our yoga, vibrant and alive, full of energy, as opposed to feeling like we were forcing things that didn't feel good and we feel like we've been depleted. I want you to feel the opposite. Hopefully, moving with ease like this can translate into your daily activities. So, personally, I've been working like when let's say I'm mopping or I'm sweeping, instead of like gritting my teeth and doing it fast and moving in erratic ways, I'm just trying to like soften everything and kind of do it like you'd see in a Disney movie, which seems silly, but it feels so much better. I don't feel as sweaty and exhausted when I'm trying to move my body in that way, staying really mindful and present. So I do believe that our yoga is very applicable to our life skills. And that's just one that I challenge you to work on until we meet each other again. Happy you joined me today. Are you all ready to get started? If you are, let's move on back to our mats. Today, we're going to begin class on our backs to switch things up. And also, that way, if you had to leave class early, you don't miss the really good stretches on our backs. Usually, I save those to the end. So for today, we begin with those. Come on back, yogis. And even this movement towards our mats is really soft and kind, loving and considerate to our bodies. As we're easing on down into our practice, we'll just move slowly. And as we get to our backs, if we're feeling like, oh, I need to stay here for a moment and move a little bit, please do. You'll find your way to your back as softly and slowly as possible. So I feel like I just want to kind of lift my chest for a minute and roll around. And then I like to hug the back of my thighs. Join me if you'd like. This is a super gentle way to roll to your mat. We're going to curl up into a little ball with our knees towards our chest. Rest your head completely on your mat and take a gaze over your left shoulder. Hugging your knees in and rocking side to side, really softly massaging into your low back and opening the right side of your neck here. Rocking side to side can feel really lovely, but you're also, of course, welcome to do anything that feels good in your body. So whether you'd rather suckle or move in any different way, please do. Eyes back to sky. Let's stand our feet on top of our knees and grab the blade edges of our feet. If they're too far away, we'll just hug onto the backs of our thighs, considering your knees falling next to your ribs. We're going to think about that. Now, if your tailbone curled up, press your tail back down so your spine is very long. And if your feet fell, put them back up on top of your knees. We'll try a little rock around here in our happy baby. Hopefully feeling very happy to get out of our workspace and switch off for a moment, coming within to our breath and our beautiful bodies. Practicing a little of the shape making today, hopefully leaving feeling refreshed and energized. Re-hug your knees, and as you do, shift your eye gaze to the right side. Look over your right shoulder and then move as it feels good again, rocking in your back. Whatever works, you can always stay still as well. We're softening in here to our lower back just for 2 more breaths. Can you stay with your breath as you move it down into the furthest extremities, tips of toes, fingertips, all the way up into your hair follicles. Send one more big breath in. And a full breath out. Eye gaze comes back to the sky and let your feet fall. Pressing the balls of your feet down and lifting all 5 toes on each foot. Give them a little wiggle like you're playing the piano with your toes. See if you can roll from baby toe to big toe and back again. Open arms out to shoulder height with your palms facing the sky so your chest is really wide. And we'll articulate through our spine. Heels press down, tails tuck under. We begin to lift the lower buns and back and roll up into a bridge, maybe lifting up onto at the tops of our shoulders. Lifting creates space under your back, and then roll back down from top to bottom. Reversing slowly. Tailbone presses flat. Belly may rise. We may find a little space underneath our low back. Let's reintegrate that. Low back down, tailbone up. Lift from bottom to top slowly, inch by inch, lengthening and strengthening your spine. Roll again, my friends. Shoulder blades, mid back, low back. Tailbone, did your low back rise? That's okay, just notice. Beautiful job. A funky variation. We're going to lift our left knee and cross it over our right leg. Press away for a moment to lift your hip flexor. Use your left hand on the inner knee. You may like to rock side to side here if that feels good. And once your hip feels pretty open, let's re-widen the arms and press just the right foot down, lifting up through a figure four bridge. Now this one wouldn't be as high as our last one, so once you get lifted, you can do a little rocking, a little seesaw action here, or just a big boost out of your right heel. Squeeze your buns to open your hips. Reset your spine back down, top to bottom, release. Hug your left knee back in towards your chest, and just extend that leg for a moment, hovering it above the floor so it feels pretty good, opening up your hip flexor. Maybe pulse up and down a bit, and then replace your foot to the floor. Right knee, give it a big squeeze to your chest. Flex your foot and cross it over your left thigh. Then use your right hand to press on the knee. We want to send it as far from our heart space as possible. I love to rock around a little bit here, giving your hips some love, or a whole lot of love. When you're feeling more open in your right hip flexor, let's lift, yogi. So we're going to spread our arms wide again. Slowly pushing foot down, left foot down to help us rise. Squeeze a little through your buns like a hug, and then open up your front body. One more big breath in. 1 inch at a time, lower top to bottom through your spine. Right knee comes into your chest. Extend it away so your knee can get a little stretch out. I like to hover mine, and then I'll give it a couple pulses to reactivate the energy there. Bring your foot flat again, and let's try one more funky bridge. Soles of feet together, reclined, bound angle. Now you can move your arms in the same fashion and visit extended butterfly pose for a moment. You'd hold your opposite forearms overhead. When you're ready, arms will go wherever they feel a little relaxed and very grounded. So I'm going to move mine back out to my shoulders. Press through the blade edges of your feet. Press them together and down to lift your hips. A little bridge. Squeeze your buns to open the front hips. Bound angle bridge. You can seesaw here. Feels good. Moving to open the front hips here. Another big breath in. Re-squeeze back to the center. Stay still for a moment. Lift, 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 and release. Take your feet the opposite way. Feet wide. Knees tap together for steeple knees. And we're just resorting our hips here, letting them fall heavily back into their sockets. All right, yogi, step back like you're gonna come into bridge. Feet near your butt, knees over your heels. Let's hug knees to chest, rock a little side to side. Tap toes down and scoot your hips to the right as both knees fall to the left. We're gonna try to pull a tiger's tail here. So reach your right hand for the top of your right foot. And as you do, try to pull it behind your low back. Eventually, our legs will split so wide open that they're not even touching you. Eye gaze looks to the left. Now, this can feel great as it is. If you'd like a little more, left ankle can cross over your right outer thigh for a massive stretch through the quadricep down into your kneecap. If something ever feels too intense, come back to where you felt soft, happy, and replenished. Feeling like everything you do here is making your day better. One more big breath in. Eye gaze moves back to ceiling as you exhale. Release any crossed ankles and release your tiger's tail. You might want to straighten that leg again. Shift it around a bit. Let your knees fall back to the left, and let's really press our shoulders down using the right side body to lift knees to the sky. Shift your hips back under your shoulders and rock your knees to your chest. Let's move a little bit here. We're stimulating the back body, getting our core ready for action. Toes tap down, hips shift left, and your knees fall to the right. But as they do, can you grab your left hand to the top of your left foot? Pull a tiger's tail in. So our knees are going to split apart. Your left heel pulls back towards your glute. And if you feel like you want more, your right ankle could cross over the outside of your left knee. Big spinal twist. So where we feel sensation, we send our energetic breath. I love to use the exhales to send tension away. If you felt some crankiness in an area of your body as you breathed in, hopefully you captured it and you can just puff it away. Eye gaze moves to sky. Ankle uncrosses if you chose that option. Let go of your tiger's tail, and you might just like to send your left leg out. Have a moment here. All right, when that leg feels better, knees come back towards one another, and we use our strong left side to squeeze to the center. Tap toes down and shift your hips back under your shoulders for alignment. Well, that was fun. Hold your knees and let's rock up to seated. I like to rock toes to head. Makes it a little more fun, and we just kind of pop up. But if that doesn't work for you, you can turn to your side and roll up that way. Otherwise, rock to seated. Cross your shins right in front of left and walk your hips back. All right, let's do a couple of bows to open our front body and our back body. So we're gonna lift arms skyward. Open your front body by pressing navel forward. Inhale, chin lifts up. Stretch even through your fingers, maybe give them a wiggle. And as you bow down, sits bones plug in, yogis. But we're gonna press palms to the earth and then curl ourselves through angry cat, opening our back body as we re-rise. I'm gonna show you this from front to side. Lift up, press forward. Back of hands pulls behind us, tailbone pulls behind us. Release as you exhale. Roll up, curling your back to an angry cat arch. And we'll try that twice more. But before you fall again, my friends, hands behind your low back and switch the leg. So your left leg is in front now. Re-rise when you're ready. A huge open front body stretch. When you're ready to exhale, bow down, surrender. Keep your sits bones plugged in. Curl back and roll to rise. So I always ask that you ground something so that we have the ability to stretch away from what's grounded. We're going to stretch out of our low back here. Exhale, fall. Roll back, find that angry cat. Reach to the sky and let your arms fall behind you this time. Press through your fingertips to open your heart to me. Feel like you could crack open and send your heart out of your body. Bring it to me. Sprinkle in a little bit of that love and kindness everywhere you go today. Beautiful job. Holding on to your knees, let's bring our feet flat and wider than our hip width distance. Doing a little windshield wipe here. Swish to the right. Swish to the left. It's okay if they don't connect to the ground. Just move in here a little bit. Doing a few more seated things before we move to standing today. So when you come back in, let's roll a cat-cow here. Adjust so there's no flesh under your tail or sits bones. You can use a gentle hand, or you can just shimmy around till you feel free. Let's hold our shins or our knees and pull our heart through our wide knees. And this is a big curl because we get to hold on. So we're going to tuck our chin, pull our backs to the walls behind us, and hang on with your arms, rounding even your shoulders and your chin down. Reopen when you're ready. Re-exhale. Feels good to be mindful of those breaths, doesn't it? Come on, back up. Hug your left knee in, but straighten your right leg. And then let's scoot ourselves back so we feel super long. Right sits bone from right heel. And as you hug your left knee in, we're going to let it fall open. But today, instead of clasping our seated trees, we're going to create some more space. Widen your foot away from your inner thigh, but that's too kind. Feel good? All right, let's move hands over to your left knee. And we're going to take a bow. Now, what tends to happen is our whole right side rises. So don't bow that much. Ground in. Stretch away. Breathe in. Turn your belly over your left knee. And how far can you come down while being connected in your right sits bone? There's that stretch. There is no right answer, by the way. I'm just asking you where you can go. Staying as low as you are here, walk your hands to the right until you've framed out your right knee. Let's try to fall here. Now plug down, left sits bone. So we always have something that we're anchoring in to stretch away from. Tough twist, right? So we have to slow down our breath so that our breath can figure out how it's going to travel through this maze of twists we've created. All right, yogis, when you're ready, rise, twist again to your left knee, but stay tall this time and use your right hands on your left knee. Lift your left arm overhead, big breath in, sit tall. And are you able to tip? It won't be a big tip, but we're gonna reach left fingers over our heads towards our right toes. Give them all a wiggle. Just making sure we're not clinging on to tension that we do not need. Now, eyes looking down will be your best bet for safety in our necks. Looking for a challenge? Roll your eyes to the sky. Big breath in. Come back to seated. Watch me if you don't know your spiral lift. We're gonna point our right toes. Left hand falls, and we lift up here, lifting right heel, sending hips forward. So let's do that together if you're not there yet. Untwist your body, come forward, left hand down, right toes point, right arm rises as we push through the right big toe and the left shin. Squeeze our buns and rise our hips to shine. Big open body stretch. Come on back down, my friends. Wonderful. Lift your left knee. May have to resort that flesh under your tail and sits bones. We never want to feel pinching. That's no fun. Bring your right knee in. Straighten out your left leg wherever it feels nice. Scooch around so you're feeling pretty settled. Okay, now we find our seated trees by bending right knee out. But instead of pushing the foot and thigh together, let's open it today and give our hips and groins some spaciousness. Awesome. All right, now we're plugged in. We stay anchored here. We're not drifting away. Swivel to the right, big breath in, and ease down. Might not be very far, but hopefully we're feeling inner thigh, low back. Take a very soft breath in. Where are you able to float? Is there anywhere new that you can fill up with this rejuvenating energy? Easy exhale here. Staying as low as you are, walk your hands over to the left. I like to crisscross my wrists, it just feels fun. And when eventually you're framing your left knee, that's where we land. Replug right sits bone, stretch on an inhale, lengthen your crown away, and then easy exhale. This can feel really nice for your neck as well. Just let your chin hang. All the wrinkles release from the backs of our necks. They're really long. When we suffer from the tech neck that so many of us are experiencing these days, it's because we're jutting chin forward and compressing the discs in the back of our neck. So releasing chin towards chest and hanging heavy can be a wonderful relief from that sensation. Rolling to rise when you're feeling good. Swivel back to knee. Left hand grabs right knee and right arm rises. We're just gonna sit here for a moment, find our length. When you feel ready, tip to the left side. How can such a tiny little bit of movement feel so immense in your right side body? Looking down is definitely the path of least resistance. So if you'd like the challenge, you're rolling your eyes skywards, really tugging right fingers away from right knee. All right, remember that windmill, yogis? We're gonna windmill the arms, point the left toes, press out of right shin and left toes, and try to lift your heel. Lifting and lengthening away in this beautiful spiral lift. Take another huge breath in, maybe squeeze your buns, press hips forward, and come on back down. Whew, nice. Soles of feet come together again. You choose whether they're real close to your groin or if you want to scoot your hips back and you have a diamond shape. All are great options. Most importantly, we just want to try to peel open our inner arches, press the blades together, and we might want to lean side to side or maybe concentrate on one side to get you a little more open in your hips. If your knees are poking to the sky, this can feel really unsupportive. So I encourage you to gather soft things and put them under your outer legs so they can slip in and feel supported. Take a breath or two here. All right, we're gonna stretch our shoulders a little bit for some binding today. Sounds like a scary word in yoga, I know. We'll do it softly, don't worry. Right arm comes across your body. If you could, hook the back of your hand over your left thigh, and you might feel enough sensation. But if that doesn't feel like it's enough for you, left hand can come to the top of your wrist, and we wanna pull across. We do go down and across, so the ear is really far from the shoulder head. Last but not least, eye gaze looks to the right. A little neck stretch. And while we're sitting here, we're still trying to peel the inner arches of our feet open. Maybe we're getting a little wiggle in our toes. Movement is medicine, in my opinion, so do all the movements that feel great. All right, come back to the center. Now, before we move on, give your shoulders a little roll, like a backstroke with just your shoulders. Release your head, give it a little shake, releasing your neck. And we're going for the forklift. Let's send our forearms underneath our shins, if possible. So as we slide under here, we're gonna go for a little push down with our shins and a pull up with our hands. So we get this rounded back, and there's a little counter push and pull happening here. Outer ankles or shins push down. You might even curl your fingers because you got into a little pressure point. That feels pretty cool. And as we push down with our legs, pulling up with our arms. If you get it into the right spot, right in the middle of your forearm, and you're really pushing down, you might feel beautiful release, a big opening in your middle or lower back. I just love how you can't really open your fingers when you have your ankles pressing on your forearms like that. It's a good challenge though. They just want to curl right back. Release that, yogis. Woo! Rub out your forearms if they felt like a little buzzy and warm from that. Shake out your wrists. Good to do anyway because we're about to come onto our wrists, so give them a little love. And when you're ready, left arm comes across your body. Do you want to hook it outside your right thigh? It can feel really good. It might be all you need. But if you want more, right hand comes to the top of your wrist, and we push down as we pull across. So we feel really open in the side, neck, and your shoulder. Big breath in. Eyes gaze to the left for a little sensational right side of our neck stretching. I hope your yoga makes you feel like you're smiling. Like these stretches may not feel amazing if you're tight in certain areas, but hopefully you're taking these big like exhales every once in a while, releasing. Come back to me as you look forward. Give that arm a little shake. Whoo, shake out. And then when you're ready, we're gonna lift. So keep your bound angled legs. Reach your hands behind you wherever your fingers want to spin so your chest feels wide and open. Push the blade edges together, and you just might be able to squeeze your buns enough that they rise. Really lifting up, kind of like that bridge earlier, but a little higher. Maybe you're taking another seesaw or a movement forward and back. Just make sure your shoulders and your elbows are happy with that. And when you're ready, have a seat. Bring your knees to the sky. Shift your way around to tabletop, however you want to get there. Maybe you need to take a little crawl around to get yourself back onto your mat comfortably. And we're spending a second here, so if you need some padding under your knees, please get that. But let's spin our fingers out to each side. So they're facing forward to begin. We're gonna turn right fingers to the right and left fingers to the left. Making sure your hands are wide. Webbing looks like duck feet. It's really wide. Good. And then we're starting to shift our hips a little bit at a time. Ooh, hello wrists. Welcome to the practice. Haven't used them much yet, so we're getting started, yogis. Tucking your toes, maybe getting the bottoms of your feet stretched out, and just make sure that your navel here. You're breathing, your stomach is movable, but your navel is tucking up towards your spine, so we have support in our low backs. Let's flip our palms. Stop your rocking for a moment, and flip your palms so that they face up, fingers still face one another. Okay, that can be really intense. If it's too much, one hand at a time. But when you arrive, you're gonna bend your elbows a little bit and try to make a fist or two fists, whatever you got going on. Press your thumb onto your middle or index finger knuckle. It gets easier, I promise. Open your hands and then try again. I love an exhale as we squeeze because that is not easy. Inhale, open. Exhale. If you were working on only one, please switch. We're gonna go 3 more times here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Twice more. Breathe in. Full exhalation, soft and steady. Inhale. Okay, let's hold for just a second. It got a little easier to plug that thumb into your index or middle finger, right? Okay, stay for an extra breath. Let the tops of your feet fall. Sit back on your heels and let's close. Knees together and ankles. Big toes are kissing, right? If you can't tolerate this, that's okay. Have a regular seat again. But we want to reach forward and just give our hands a little circle, maybe a little flap. And then eventually bringing the backs of your hands together and just let them dangle. Once they shake out a little bit, we're going to turn them towards our body, all the way towards each other, and then back the other way. Yeah, little circles. Like maybe a 3/4 circle, I should say. Hard to get all the way around. Can you reach to the edge? It's hard to do. Okay, one more time. Beautiful, yogis. We're almost to rising, I promise. Hands behind. So if you're not seated on your heels, it's okay. You just follow along the best you can. Otherwise, we're reaching our hands behind and lifting our buns again. Options, palms flat, fists for wrists, or tented fingers, which is where I'm going. As you tent, make sure you're pulling your finger pads towards one another so your wrists are getting strong and we prevent splaying in our knuckles. Squeeze your buns, squeeze your inner thighs, and try to lift your hips off your heels. Big breath in. You can ease back down if you need to. If it feels great, stay for another breath. Let your head drop back. Your shoulder blades are squeezing together, and hopefully there's a pillow awaiting your head. Release when you're ready. Walk your hands forward into child's. Turn your palms up, and just stretch out for a second. Maybe you're rolling back into fists and reopening, just letting our wrists have a moment. Let's reach back again, same place we just were, but just one hand this time. So left hand will stay, right arm rises to sky. Optionally, we lift our hips. I love to look down for this one. Eyes towards left thumb, if that feels good for you. Try with me, big breath in. Have a seat, switch hands. Right hand comes behind. Left arm rises. We may not lift our hips, it's okay, just side bend. Optionally, squeeze through your hips and rise. Eyes looking anywhere that your neck feels really happy. Release back down, stretch arms to sky, and we'll find child's pose once more before we rise, but let's hover for a moment. So from our extension, we reach forward, let your hips rise, and hover your child's pose. Really starting to activate our core. Reach fingers away, give them a little magical wiggle overhead. When you're ready, find your child's pose. Tuck your toes and rise your hips into downward facing dog. Hey, we finally arrived. Give yourself a bunch of wiggles because your knees are probably feeling all that bending you've done. So move, yogis, as it feels good. You know your body. Ask it what it needs. Feel your body. We're just going to take a couple more dancing wiggles here, losing tension and lengthening as we stretch out, and then we'll come together. All right, big exhalation. Find a strong, still dog. As you inhale, lift your right leg high. As you exhale, curl right heel towards your butt. Keep your down dog shape. Stay in this shape. Inhale, tuck your nose in towards your knee. And exhale, press it back one more time. One round like this. We're starting in three-legged dog. Stay high with your leg, but curl your heel towards your butt. Bring your nose and your knee together. Stay in your dog shape. And then push back. Three-legged dog again. Straight leg. Toes down, yogis. Walk your fingertips back towards your toes and just hang heavy here for a minute. Any option that you would enjoy. I'm going to give you a couple options, okay? Hold opposite elbows or biceps and swing your elbows around the corners towards your opposite heels. Alternatively, staying still in your forward fold and finding gorilla pose. Palms slide under the balls of your feet and your toes connect with your wrist creases. Really deep way to fold. If you choose gorilla, your elbows will open to the sides and we're gonna pull. Like we did in our forklift earlier, we're gonna pull our palms up as we step down onto our hands. So we feel this great tugging and elongating of our spine, top of head towards the floor. Big breath in. Full exhalation. And if you need more, you always know to stay, please. But if you're ready to move on back to fold, walk your feet back to downward facing dog. And we're gonna lift our left leg. Take a huge stretch to the sky. Remember that we're gonna hold our shape the entire time. So we're pushed back into dog. Left heel curls to your butt. Left knee and nose try to connect. And then we push straight back. Three-legged dog. Hamstring curl. Cheetah crunch, staying in dog. One more round, yogis. Are your toes open? Can you spread your cute little webbing? Spread your duck feet. Curl in. Press back. Last time, three-legged dog on this side. Toes touch down. Beautiful. Lift your heels. Tiptoe your way forward again to fold. And we are rolling to rise, extended mountain pose. I love to drag my fingers along my body, so you might want to slide up. You can use your fingernails if you have nails. You can kind of scratch along the sides of your ribs, your armpits, your neck, your skull. It's very stimulating. Palms meet overhead, straight like an arrow. Eyes glance upwards as long as your neck is happy there. Heels rise. Okay, it's going to be tricky with our eyes up, so we're going to get balanced first. Spread the balls of your feet. Rock a little around so you're feeling steady, and then lift your heels. Stay with eyes upwards. Embrace challenge, because if we did it the same every way, we would never grow and change. And if you wipe out like me, there's plenty of time to just softly come back. Finding our way today with a beginner's mindset. It's the very first time any of us have ever practiced in this second together, so we're all brand new. Big breath in. Heels melt down. Eyes look forward. Well done. Clasp your butterfly hands. You remember these? Thumb pads come together. I'm going to show you up close. And then your fingers spread wide like butterfly wings. Stay there and lift your right knee. I'm going to come to you. Okay, so butterfly hands. Thumbs clasp, fingers really wide and spread. And we're going to pull on our fingers. Okay, right knee is rising. We're stepping back into lunge. Keep your butterfly pull, so it feels sensational on your shoulders. Stepping back to lunge softly. Open, optionally back bend. Lift as long as you can in your upper half. Did you see me grow? Lift, lift, lift. Then lean back. If it feels compressed in your low back, come back to straight. Lift again and retry, or take it out altogether. Always want to feel replenished. Beautiful and free. Come back to standing. Arms release. Take a few wrist circles as you come around your low back. We're going to clasp, right thumb on top. Clasp and extend. Ooh, that feels good. Open your heart. Remember, think about Superman, like how he rips off his clothes and his cape is under there. That's what I want you to do. Show me that superhero cape. Big breath in. Loaded. Belly comes over your left thigh, softly extending crown away from right heel. Here's the tricky part, yogis. Wiggle your left toes. When you're ready, pull your right knee towards your chest, standing just as you are with your right knee under your body. So it's a loaded chair pose. Come back to rise, lift your right knee. We've started over. Well done, yogis. Arms rise. Stay high, release your shoulders, wiggle your fingers, release your foot. Shake a little bit. Hey, good job. All right, so listen, think about this. Go butterfly fingers again, but what did you habitually do? That thumb that was on top, probably the dominant one. Switch. Feels funny, right? Okay, try to pull away. I know it's awkward. Left knee rises, big breath in. All right, we're keeping on pulling. Pulling on our thumbs. Try to feel our shoulders sway. Beautiful job. Stepping back. Left leg long journey. Find your lunge. Find your length. Ready? Grow tall and relax your shoulders. Back bend if it feels like a beautiful new world in your chest and stomach. If it feels invigorating and enlightening, energizing and opening. Take another big breath in. And as you exhale, stand back up in your lunge. Clasp your hands behind your low back, but start to wiggle your fingers. Maybe you circle again, maybe you shake them. They're gonna come around your low back and your left thumb clasps on top. Got your clasp? Okay. Press your knuckles back, open your heart. So loaded lunge, yogis, hovering your belly. Your flesh can fall on your thigh, but you're engaging your muscles. Let's come forward. Oh, now we know what the term loaded lunge means. We feel the load in our right thigh. Staying exactly as you are with your upper body, but crunch your left knee to your heart. Stay here. One-legged chair. Come to standing. Knee is still lifted. Arms rise in celebration. Foot falls. Shake out everything. That was a lot of hard work. You did it. You can do hard things. Well done. Big breath up and in. Half sun salutations. Exhale, forward fold. Big breath back in. Halfway lift. Fingers slide up your shins. Really long top of head to tail. Release, forward fold. Next time you inhale, buns sink, arms rise anywhere. Chair pose. Arms overhead, the most challenging. And if that bothers your shoulders in any way, please take care of yourself. Find a new way to lift. Re-rise, extended mountain pose. 2 more rounds with breath. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release, fold. Inhale, your version of chair pose. Exhale, stand tall. Last round, inhale, press palms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, full fold. Chair pose. How can you really feel amazing in this chair pose? Stand tall, extended mountain. Press your palms together. Beautiful job. Send the arms down low and spread your capes. You're in full superhero mode today. Your chest is wide. You've shown me your costume, and your fingers are your capes. Spread them wide. Right knee rises, yogis. All right, we're going to take some opening and closes. Let's open to the side. Close. Now, if you need to, your toes are down, and you're stepping out to the side. And back in, just getting used to external rotation in your hips. One more, big breath in. Big breath out. Okay, so watch if you don't know. You know how we arc around the corner and step into warrior 2? That's where we're headed. Watch me if you're not sure. Join me if you are, and when you are. Stepping all the way back to our warrior 2. Spread your arms wide at shoulder height, making sure that you step wide enough that your wrists are right over your ankles. Well done. Open your left knee a little bit towards the baby toe. Beautiful. And then clasp your hands behind your low back and shoot your knuckles towards the floor. Just notice which thumb crossed on top. It's probably your dominant side. May not be. Just good to notice things. Then we're going to bind yogi. So this is going to get very interesting in our shoulders. Stay steady in your legs. You've got this. Reach arms to sky. Let's stretch our left tricep. Bend the arm. Hold with your right hand right onto that elbow point. And we're going to try to hook our right forearm behind our head, pressing our heads back to activate more into this stretch. All right, so the left arm is staying right where it is. And we are trying to wrap right arm around low back. Reach it up your spine for the bind. If that feels very unfamiliar for you, I'm going to come close and show you in a second what it looks like. But as you climb together, if your fingertips don't touch, it's okay. Keep reaching. So the bind looks like this, yogis. We have stretched out our tricep. The opposite arm reaches up the spine. Our fingers may or may not clasp. Some of you may be so flexible that you can hold your left wrist. No matter what, we're getting a huge shoulder opening, and if it's bothering you in any way, keep your hands clasped down behind your low back. We have one more big, beautiful breath in here. I challenge you as you breathe in the last time for this posture to lift your left heel. Why not? You've already come so far. A little icing on the cake, never hurt anybody. Big breath in. Full breath out. Open the arms, and in your bottom arm, you could feel really tight right now. So we're just gonna move. It's a complete freestyle. However you can move to just release. Maybe you're not moving, maybe you're holding and massaging on that right shoulder. Whatever you feel like you need. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Okay, turn the corner to your left knee. We're gonna try to lift this bad boy. Are you ready? Curl it around the corner, rewinding just the way you came in. Arms might wanna be wide for this one. Lift your right knee, curl it around the corner, and all the way back to your standing mountain pose. Congrats, good work. Give your hips a shimmy. Maybe give them a rub if that right hip is feeling kind of cranky. Working hard. Inhale. Left knee. Open to the side. As high or as low as it feels good. We're just getting used to this hip opening, external rotation. Gonna go one more time. You're welcome to continue here. And when that all feels pretty amazing, you're gonna stay open and then just keep going back, 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 back. Landing as softly as you can. Windmilling your arms and spreading very wide into your warrior two. All right, my friends, good work. Do you need a little shimmy? Do you need a wiggle here and there? Checking, let's align things. Wrists over ankles, knees out towards baby toes, aligning knee with hip. All those things are very important in our opening and our stability. Arms rise, big breath in. Give yourself a pat on the back with your right hand, and let's go grasping with our left fingers. We're gonna look for that elbow point. Left forearm, if it can come behind your skull, super helpful because you can push back. Yes, very nice. So remember our option from the other side. Clasping hands behind the low back rather than binding, still getting a nice shoulder release and a big chest opener. This is here for you. I don't want you to be uncomfortable. Stretch for another breath through your tricep. We're gonna keep on working our pat on the back down lower so that when you're ready, join me. Left arm will sweep behind the low back, up your spine, and your fingers may be waiting for a gentle clasp. Now, while you did that, because there is no denying this is hard, what in your body gripped on? How are your toes? What is your facial expression like? Can you release any of those things? Can you move your belly as you breathe? I know you've got this. Hang on for just one more breath. Slowly, slowly, don't rush it. I know all the tricks, yogis. I've done that before too, where I'm like, done. Slow down that breath. Spread your arms open. We're going for a freestyle because I know my left arm is feeling pretty cranky. Binds are tough. So we're just gonna move it around. Maybe you just massage it. Maybe you're moving your arms in all different ways. Maybe you're giving someone the elbow. Whatever works. When you're ready, turn the corner towards your right knee. Lift your left heel. Re-lift your arms. Or you can keep them down for more balance. You choose. But we're going to spring out of this left foot. Curl it all the way around the corner, rewinding the way we came in, and stepping it down for the happy dance that the wobbly, balancing, hard stuff is done. Give it a shake. Beautiful job, yogis. Release your arms, give them a roll, and you've already gone back once, so you may like to go forward. More awkward, it feels pretty nice. Well done. All right, let's take a big lift to the sky. Inhale, extended mountain. Lift your heels if that feels nice. Eye gaze might want to move up. Release when you're ready. Forward fold. Hang really heavy here. Those options from earlier still apply. Or you can also just reach and hug your calves. Hug the backs of your thighs somewhere on your back body to pull your crown closer to the floor. Try to lift up through your navel. Give yourself more ability to deeply fold here. And when you're ready, my friends, fingertips land in front of your toes. Walk them forward so that you feel like it's really easy to lift your heels. I want you to feel a little bit lifted through your back body. Now options again, you can plant your fists. These are great strong wrists. Palms, you can have a support to build the floor up, or if you want to be even stronger in your wrists, tense your fingers. Okay, bend your left knee and send your right leg behind you. Now open your hip for a sec, and then square it back. What happens when you do that? Maybe try again. Notice the sensation in your left glute. Open, close, squeeze inner thighs together. We're gonna stay close. Our goal is to stay close. Flex your right foot and look at it. All 5 toes are squared towards the floor when your hips are squared, okay? That's our goal. We are bending into our left knee for bent knee, warrior 3. Straightening our left leg. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Can you ungrip your left toes and your facial features? Inhale, lower. Exhale, push. Last round like this. Wherever you'd like to be with your left leg, reach your right arm behind you. Reach your left arm behind you. Diving airplane. Point your toes. Drop your nose and lift your right toes as skywards as you can. Fingertips can always come under shoulders for support. Otherwise, we're continuing to reach our wings, our fingertips towards our tail, our right toes. Dive your airplane. One more big breath in. As you release, yogis, drop to your right shin and come into a seated twist. So as I dropped my right shin, it crossed behind my left knee, and we come into a seated twist to relieve our left leg. Give it a squeeze. The best, yes? Give it a bigger squeeze. We want to really lift it up into our heart and stretch out here. All right, now you can stay right here. This feels too good to leave. Or if you'd like to bigger twist, come with me. Left hand behind, right arm over the left thigh, helping you sit tall. Relax your right fingers and gently swivel your eye gaze to the left. Sometimes we feel like we're really twisted, but if we draw our navels in and sit up a little taller, there's more swivelability in our spine. Let's give it a try. Guess what also helps? An inhale and an exhale as you twist. Lastly, a smile. That always helps as well. Really softens things up. I feel like that suppleness that comes into your face when you smile translates. Your body can't deny it. You're smiling, you're feeling good. All right, so this is very fancy. Watch me. We're gonna come, yogis, around to the right side. Watch how I spin to open and find forward fold. And if that was just a brain buster, just come to forward fold however you can. Hang yourself heavy. Okay, so remember what we did here. We walked our fingers forward so that we could lift our heels. We feel lighter in our legs as we walk our hands forward, right? You choose how your wrists are, palms, fists, or fingertips. And you're extending your left leg. Now you can tap it on the floor as opposed to lifting, but no matter what, we're gonna test a few times. Open your hip, feel the sensation move across your right glute, and then close your hips. Feel it equal left to right. Feel it move out. We really don't want to feel this here. Feel it move left to right equally. That's what we're looking for. Look down, find your left toes. Are all 5 tiptoes facing the floor? Congrats, your hips are square above up. All right, let's get strong. Inhale, right knee bends. Exhale, right leg straightens. Inhale. Exhale, can you ungrip your jaw? How about your right toes? I know, both of those things I always grip up to. Inhale. Try one more. Big exhale gets us out of a lot of predicaments, doesn't it? Ready? Nice. Diving airplane. Reach your left fingers back. Feel okay? All right, here goes. Right fingers, reach back. Point your left toes if you can. Fingers are reaching towards your toes. Toes are climbing skywards. Our head is hanging. We have a dive bombing airplane here. Stay steady, yogis. On your next exhalation, we're gonna cross right knee behind, left knee behind right calf and sit ourselves down in seated twist. Gather that right knee up very quickly so it can be relieved. Hug, hug, hug. So tight that you feel your outer right glute. Does not get much better than this. While we're doing all this hugging, we do try to let our shoulders be happy because sometimes we sit like this. Not fun. So we want to relax. Stay here and just keep doing what you're doing, or join me in a little bigger version. Right hand behind, left arm over, and then once you get adjusted, try to soften. Left fingers relax. So which ways can we get a little bit more deeply twisted? Breath. Sitting very tall, very confident posture. And last but not least, smiling like a fool. That definitely helps lighten everything up. Still feeling all the good feels, but it just feels a little softer in some way. Excellent job, my friends. Come undone. So remember how fancy that was? Ready? It's not really fancy. I'm kidding when I say that. We're just going to spin to the left, spin around the corner, and find ourselves in the forward fold. Why? Because it's fun. Why not? From your forward fold, let's take a big roll to rise. Interesting ways to rise. Always looking for a good one. The arms elevate again. We stretch so tall. Step your left leg behind the right. A little curtsy. I prefer my knees bent. I feel more stretchable this way, so you decide. We're going to hold left wrist with the right hand. Give a huge tug. Feeling lifted in the right side as well. Really trying to stretch both armpits out of our hips. Center we go. Inhale. Step back. Right leg steps behind. I prefer soft knees. Helps me really lift and push out. Hold with your left hand onto your right wrist. Help yourself lengthen even more. And maybe one last little bit. Come undone. Step wide. Inhale. Clasp your forearms behind your low back. And if you have to leave early, it is 1:55. So we're going to carry on until 2 if you can stay. But if you have to leave, namaste. Thank you for joining us. Notice here which forearm is on top. Just noticing, no big deal. Sink down through your buns. Lift your hips, straighten your legs, and forward fold. Taking another big breath in. As you exhale, rebend your knees, re-roll to the sky, articulate your spine one vertebrae at a time. And then switch. So remember which hand's on top here. Switch. Always feels awkward to do the non-habitual way, which is good, finding something new. Big inhale. Exhale. Less toes, more heels. Push back, chair pose. Stay for a breath. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Keep your grasp. Hips rise. Kneecaps are pulling high in towards your thighs. And we're going to roll to rise one more time. Let's take a big, beautiful breath in. One set of fun balances to send us off with a bang, or I should say send us off with a swing today. All right, keep your arms anyway, but just make sure that you don't have clip-on earrings. Your shoulders are relaxed, so it might need a little shimmy, might need a little shake of your head, finding freedom in your upper body. Left knee rises, big breath in. Sweep arms back, toes back, regular airplane. You don't have to dive this one, but up dog in your chest as opposed to this, right? Up dog, lift. Okay, send everything back. Airplane pose, rise high, relift everything. Cross over into eagle, toes can tap down or thighs can cross. Left arm comes under. We're gonna hug on this side. Wrap hands around shoulder blades. Topsy-turvy, wiggle through your toes, give your fingers a little thump on your back, just wiggling what we don't need to hold stress to. Inhale, re-rise, lift your left knee. Exhale, release. Big arms, no shoulders. So much better. Inhale, right knee rises. Arms sweep, toes follow, airplane pose, steady and strong, really wide in your chest, left to right. Next time you breathe in, rise again, big breath. Right knee, thigh, or ankles cross, eagle pose. It can be anywhere. You can have a little kickstand. Right arm comes under, left arm on top. Why not? Hugs are the best. And we are hug deprived these days because of coronavirus. So hug yourself. You deserve it. Sit low. When you're ready, big lift all the way back to the sky. As you exhale, everything falls. Left foot steps in front. We're gonna cross it over of the right. Hands clasped behind the low back. Uplift your chest. Try to keep everything just as open as you fold forward and down. Fingertips will fall. Keep your chest really lifted. And we're walking hands to the left side, a little twisted, forward fold. Now, if your big toes are lifted, try to push them down. Going for a stretch fully left to right across our hamstring. Back to the center, yogis. Inhale as you're down here. Exhale, roll to rise. Arms on up. Uncross. Recross. Opposite way now. Right foot is in front of the left. Hands clasped behind your low back, just to remind you to be really broad. Maybe we go opposite thumb on top this time. And then you can release your fingers to float to fold, but keep your chest really wide and open. Once you've folded, try to plug your big toes in and walk both hands to the right. Toes are going to rise again. Plug them back in, keep them down. The wiggles will cause our toes to lift, but we're looking for the best stretch possible, so we encourage flatness through the big toes. Come on back to the center. Roll to rise, big lift to the sky. Uncross your legs. Give your legs a little dance, a little sass in your hips to shake things out after those crossed knees. Bring your hands to a prayer position and stand strong for a moment. Just being really proud, taking a moment to linger in breath, to marinate. As you exhale, send the positive vibes, the balance, the coordination, your strength, your mind-body breath connection, all down through the furthest corners of your body. Lastly, tuck your chin to your chest, pull up from the back of your ears, pull up from the back of your neck. Taking a bow to ourselves, a very symbolic moment to be grateful for the amazing ways our body moved during our practice today. And remember that I encourage you to try to find the softness in the rest of your day, in the rest of your week, until we meet again. Namaste.